So we continue reading from Sri Isopanishad today morning. We are on mantra 10. We'll quickly just read the verse again. Anyad evahur vidya ya, anyad ahur avidya ya, iti shushruma dhiranam, yenas tad vichakshire. The wise have explained that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge, and that a different result is obtained from the culture of nescience. And we have been hearing what Krishna says is knowledge. And what are the things we should give up? So we continue reading from the purport by Srila Prabhupada. These 18 items combine to form a gradual process by which real knowledge can be developed. Except for these, all other methods are considered to be in a category of nescience. Now, this is a strong statement because there is so many different departments of knowledge. It's getting more and more, you know. You see, there's so many more choices, but then, of course, that's all material knowledge based on the body. Here, we are trying to understand real knowledge for the soul, which will help us not only in this life, but eternally. And why everything else is considered to be nescience? Why? Because the foundation is nescience, that we are the body. So it's material. So, and then it ends with the body. So does it mean that we should not know material knowledge? Of course, we need to know. We have to live in this world. So we need to, but we have to gradually cultivate real knowledge. That is our duty. Gradual process, we need to cultivate what is really knowledge. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a great acharya, maintained that all forms of material knowledge are merely external features of the illusory energy, and that by culturing them, one becomes no better than an ass. Now, many people who have put in a great amount of energy, mind, money, time, might get offended. What does it mean? I've spent so much, gotten such great degrees, they've gotten so much. What do you mean no better than an ass? But because doing so much hard work and still thinking you're the body. Sure, do the hard work, no problem. Get degrees, get PhDs, get everything, but understand that you're not the body, you're the soul. That is what is being said. The same principle is found here in Sri Isopanishad. By advancement of material knowledge, modern man is simply being converted into an ass. Some materialistic politicians and spiritual guys decry the present system of civilization as satanic. But unfortunately, they do not care about the culture of real knowledge as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Thus, they cannot change the satanic situation. So we see the problems in society right now, it just stems because of lack of God consciousness, forgetting who we truly are, overemphasis on the body. And we are seeing that the more the emphasis is being given, there are more and more problems that are becoming more and more evident. You know, because no one is trying to cultivate real knowledge. In the modern society, even a boy thinks himself self-sufficient and pays no respect to elderly men. Due to the wrong type of education being imparted in our universities, boys all over the world are giving their elders headaches. Thus, Sri Isopanishad very strongly warns that the culture of nescience is different from that of knowledge. The universities are, so to speak, centers of nescience only. Consequently, scientists are busy discovering lethal weapons to wipe out the existence of other countries. University students today are not given instructions in the regulative principles of brahmacharya, celibate student life, nor do they have any faith in any scriptural injunctions. Religious principles are taught for the sake of name and fame only, and not for the sake of practical action. Thus, there is animosity, not only in social and political fields, but in the field of religion as well. So we can see this is the state right now. It is true, because we are not taught in universities how to be respectful to others, how to be grateful for what we have received, how to be great, seeking the blessings of the elders. In fact, what we are taught is we can do it. I'm an individual. Nobody can stop me. My needs are the most important. And anyone who comes in that way is my enemy. You know, that's the culture we are being taught right from when we are small in the modern education system. We are not taught, and that's the reason we see that so many, by the time we are teenagers, there's so much mental dilemma happening because the right direction is not given. So of course, because we are the soul, not the body, so of course there's going to be a mental dilemma because all this input which I'm getting from outside, but what I'm feeling inside does not make sense. So what's going on? You know, and that's the reason then we take to intoxication or, you know, different ways to release our this confusion, frustration of what's happening. So it's important to cultivate this real knowledge of Sri Isopanishad. Nationalism has developed in different parts of the world due to the cultivation of nations by the general people. No one considers that this tiny earth is just a lump of matter floating in immeasurable space along with many other lumps. In comparison to the vastness of space, these material lumps are like dust particles in the air. So it's true. We are so attached to the place that we are born or to the place that we live in or to the place we work in. And then based on that, we create so many distinctions, we create so many boundaries. Instead of thinking this is just earth, it's just a lump of earth. This whole earth is just one tiny lump of earth floating in the space, along with so many other planets. And there are so many planets in one universe, and there are unlimited number of universes in this material world. So, and all these universes are just like particles of dust. Because God has kindly made these lumps of matter complete in themselves. They are perfectly equipped with all necessities for floating in space. So we heard this from the invocation of Isopanishad, that Om Purnam Ada Purnam Idam, that the complete whole, God is the complete whole, and from him is emanating so many complete units. So many complete units are being emanated. Krishna has made perfect arrangement for the rains to come. How? The water is stored in the ocean with the salt inside the water, so the water does not go bad. It can be preserved. Then the sun evaporates that water, becomes clouds, and then it comes down as fresh water, which we can drink. So there's perfect arrangement. We human beings, during we breathe in oxygen and we give out carbon dioxide. And there's perfect arrangement. The trees, they are breathing in carbon dioxide during the day and giving us fresh oxygen. So it's complete unit. The drivers of our spaceships may be very proud of their achievements, but they do not consider the supreme driver of these greater, more gigantic spaceships called planets. So what we are doing is we are forgetting that everything is given to us by God. The systems are created by God. You know, why is the sun evaporating the water, becoming cloud and falling as rain? Who has created this law? That is God. So what we instead try to do is we try to exploit whatever we have been given. Oh, I find this thing, let me exploit it to my best ability. And because of that, we are creating the position of the society that it is now. Okay? It's just lack of God consciousness. So there are innumerable suns and innumerable planetary systems also. As infinitesimal parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, we small creatures are trying to dominate these unlimited planets. Thus, we take repeated birth and death and are generally frustrated by old age and disease. We have been hearing in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, how there are so many planets in one universe, how there are so many universes. And then who are we? We are parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. parts and parcel. So the Supreme Lord, he's the supreme controller. And because we are his part and parcel, we have his tiny qualities. We have his qualities too, and he is the supreme controller. So we also have this desire to control, but we do not know. We are misusing this independence that we have. We are misusing it. So because of this misuse of our independence, we are taking repeated birth and death, and then being frustrated with old age and disease. The span of human life is scheduled for about 100 years, although it is gradually decreasing to 20 or 30 years. It's true, we have seen young people give up their bodies. Thanks to the culture of nations, befuddled men have created their own nations within these planets in order to grasp sense enjoyment more effectively for these few years. So what we are doing in this time, this short span of time that we are living in this body, we are trying to make our bodies more comfortable without thinking what effect do I have on another. We are just becoming more and more selfish, self-centered, me and mine. That me, I should be comfortable, and everyone and everything related to my body should be comfortable, and I don't care about others. We are being more and more, we are being given this education, and that's the reason the whole state of the earth is in such a chaotic situation. And then what do we do in that bargain? We forget what's the most important thing, that I'm not this body. I have to give up this body very soon. In no time, I have to give it up. So what did I do here? What did I do when I got this body? This gift that I've been given by God, what did I do with it? That is a sign of intelligence. So such foolish people drop various plans to render national demarcations perfectly, a task that is totally impossible. Yet, for this purpose, each and every nation has become a source of anxiety for others. More than 50% of a nation's energy is devoted to defense measures and thus spoiled. We can see, yes, how much money, taxpayers' money is gone for defense, for building weapons. The majority of taxpayers' money goes there. It goes there. So no one cares for the cultivation of real knowledge. Yet people are falsely proud of being advanced in both material and spiritual knowledge. So we need to cultivate real knowledge. What is real knowledge? Sri Isopanishad warns us of this faulty type of education, and the Bhagavad Gita gives instructions as to the development of real knowledge. So we are hearing Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, Krishna says, what is the cultivation of real knowledge? And he says, apart from this, everything is ignorance, nescience. So this mantra states that the instructions of Vidya, knowledge, must be acquired from a dhira. So who is going to give us the knowledge? A person who is a dhira. Now, who's a dhira? A dhira is one who is not disturbed by material illusion. No one can be undisturbed unless he's perfectly spiritually realized, at which time one neither hankers nor laments for anything. So we need to hear the perfect knowledge from a liberated liberated person, a pure devotee, a dhira, because only he is above this lamentation and hankering. All of us are otherwise disturbed in our mind because we are lamenting for something we have lost or something which we could not get. And we are hankering for something which we want. We are thinking, oh, in my past, I lost this, I lost that, I could have done this, I could have done that. So our mind is always lamenting. And then we are hankering, I'm going to do this, I want this, I'm going to go here, I'm going to do this. Then again, when this moment also becomes the past, again, we are lamenting about it. So we see it's just like a ball we are being thrown. The mind throws us from one place to another, past and future, in lamentation and hankering. And that's why we are disturbed all the time. And so how can we get perfect knowledge from people who are disturbed? How? If the person is disturbed himself, how is he going to be able to teach us? So that's why we need to hear from a Dhira. Dhira is one who's not disturbed. He's perfectly spiritually realized. He understands himself. He understands his position as a spirit soul, not this body. Adhira realizes that the material body and mind he has acquired by chance through material association are but foreign elements. Therefore, he simply makes the best use of a bad bargain. So, what does Adhira realize? That I have this body and I have a mind. It's a bad bargain because we are souls. We are the spirit soul. And to find ourselves in this material body with this material mind is actually a bad bargain. You know, what are we doing in this body? We shouldn't be in this body. We shouldn't be having this material mind. But what to do now? We are here. So what does Adhira do? He is making the best use of a bad bargain, uses the mind and the body to cultivate Krishna consciousness, cultivate true knowledge. That's what it is. They are foreign elements to the soul. We do not need this material body and we don't need this mind. But now we have it, what to do? And we need to get out of them. We need to get out of them. Instead, we are always making more and more efforts how to stay comfortably in it, how to stay comfortably in this material body, how to be more comfortable with our mind. And that endeavor is an impossible endeavor. That's the reason it leads to frustration, because it's impossible that we can be happy inside this material body with this material mind. It's impossible. The material body and mind are bad bargains for the spiritual living entity. The living entity has actual functions in the living spiritual world. But this material world is dead. The living entity has actual functions in the living spiritual world. But this material world is dead. Oh my God, how come is this material world dead? Anyone? Why is this material world dead? Yes.
It's temporary. Can you hear?
Yes, I can. Temporary. But why is it dead? Haribol, are you able to hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this material world is dead because Krishna is not there, and then it is temporary. We have lost our connection with Krishna. So that's why it is temporary and dead.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Very good.
some other word.
Yeah. See, what is this material world actually made of? Earth, water, air, fire, ether. These are all dead things. They don't have life in itself. Whatever we see has life is because the soul is inside. It's because the soul is inside. That's why it is living. But as soon as the soul leaves it, that's why it becomes a dead body, right? Like a tree looks so beautiful till the time it's living. But as soon as the living entity leaves that tree, the tree becomes dead. Doesn't look good anymore. This body that we are in, which is so valuable to us, that we are willing to do anything and everything to keep this body comfortable. It's actually a dead body. It's living just because right now we are inside this body. The moment we leave this body, it's dead. So it's never living anyways. It appears to be living because right now I'm in this body. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
As long
also,
as yes.
There was something which came up, sorry. Yesterday, my daughter was talking of her hair. She wants to color her hair and she wants to varnish her nails. And she said, Mama, what are these? I said, they are just whatever is dead inside is coming out, and it just shows the health of what's inside. And she said, oh my God, and I'm trying to make them look so beautiful. Looking at my skin, which is already the dead skin, which is outside. the inside skin must be more beautiful. And I just felt that there is such a resonance to what we are learning here in this line, that what we see outside is all dead, actually.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So appropriate. Yes, it's true. It is dead, Like, for example, now we are so attached maybe to any particular thing. What could it be? Anyone, anything? Maybe a piece of jewelry, but we are attached to it, but it's a dead matter, It's because I am thinking I'm going to get some reciprocation out of it. But how much can I reciprocate with it? And what it gives me more is a feeling of pride, ego, I own this, I can own it, a feeling of I'm so great. But what is the real reciprocation can this thing have with me? Does it make me happy? No, it just puffs up my ego more. It makes me feel more proud, more great. I'm so much better than others. And this is what we are attached to, dead matter. Dead matter. We give it so much importance here. So as long as the living spiritual sparks manipulate the dead lumps of matter, the dead world appears to be living. Because we are manipulating the earth, water, air, fire. We mix it up, then we'll create a building, we'll create a car, we'll create so many things. Phone, and more things are being created just to keep us more and more baffled here in this material world. Oh, I haven't seen this. Oh, there is a new mobile. Oh, there is a new laptop. This is the latest one. Maybe it'll make me more happy. But after some time, again, we are back to square one. There is something newer. Let me get something newer. Because it's all dead matter. It's only we, the living entities, that are living inside in this material world, that are like, have life. Actually, it is the living souls, the part and parcels of the Supreme Living Being who move the world. Prabhupada would give the example, there is a big aeroplane. All the gadgets are there, it's fully fueled, but it can't fly by itself. Can't fly by itself. You need a pilot. You need someone to press a button. You need a living soul, living person. Otherwise, it's just dead. So the Dhira have come to know all these facts by hearing. How? By hearing them from superior authorities, and have realized this knowledge by following the regulative principles. So how to become a Dhira? What are the Dhira doing? They are hearing. From who? From superior authority. So we need to hear from the authority. If we want to become expert in any field of knowledge, we need to hear from the authority. It could be a field of even material knowledge, engineering, or it could be cooking, or it could, there's so many different varieties. A lawyer, we need to go to a law school to become a proper lawyer. But if I just bring a law book and try to read by myself and I proclaim myself a lawyer, it's not going to happen. So we need to hear from authorities and have realized this knowledge. How to realize this knowledge? By following the regulative principles. We have to realize, we hear it, and then how we need to realize this knowledge. How? By following the regulative principles. What are the regulative principles? The 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, and hearing and chanting. So they are the do's and the don'ts to come to the platform of being a Dhira. So to follow the regulative principles, one must take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. The transcendental message and regulative principles come down from the spiritual master to the disciple. Such knowledge does not come in the hazardous way of nascent education. One can become a Dhira only by submissively hearing from a bona fide spiritual master. Arjuna, for example, became a Dhira by submissively hearing from Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead himself. So we see here the qualification of hearing. What kind of hearing do we need to do? Submissively. We need to hear submissively. Let me try to understand what's being said. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it, but let me try. Let me just try to hear what is being said. So submissively. Thus, the perfect disciple must be like Arjuna, and the spiritual master must be as good as the Lord himself. This is the process of learning Vidya, knowledge, from the Dhira, the undisturbed. So we need to hear in the parampara system, in the disciplic succession, which is beginning from Krishna himself, because it's only Krishna who can give us perfect knowledge. And when we are hearing in the parampara, is the perfect knowledge that is being transmitted to us. And we should hear this knowledge perfectly, apply it, and give this knowledge to others. You know, Lord Chaitanya wants that. Lord Chaitanya is saying, you get this knowledge and you give it to others. Don't just keep it for yourself. And the more we give, the more we will realize it. But just hear submissively from the authorities, in the disciplic succession. Adhira, one who has not undergone the training of Adhira, an Adhira, one who has not undergone the training of Adhira, cannot be an instructive leader. Modern politicians who pose themselves as Dhiras are actually Adhiras, and one cannot expect perfect knowledge from them. They are simply busy seeing to their own remuneration in dollars and cents. How, then, can they lead the mass of people to the right path of self-realization? Thus, one must hear submissively from Adhira in order to attain actual education. So yeah, it's true. Modern politicians, what can we expect from them? Most of them are just busy, making money for them own selves. Where is the protection of the people? Where is trying to see that all the citizens are peaceful, they don't have anxiety? All the citizens means including the animals, the plants, everyone. So because they themselves are Adhira, they themselves don't know what is knowledge. So how can they lead others? How? Then it's on each individual of us that we should try to hear from the proper authority and become a Dhira ourselves. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Any comments? Any more things? Any realizations? So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening in. Shri Isopanishad ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.